HHH1987.com.
All right, now we don't have too much more time. I do want to ask you a few more questions. Last, what do you see for the future of engineering? Like, where do you see people not even having an engineer no more?
Nah, you're gonna always need an engineer because there's a science behind what we're doing. So people think that they're engineering, but that's like, you know, you want a specialist. That's like you being your own lawyer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you want a specialist. You want somebody that really knows what they're doing. Because you can get your thing done for you, but you may not know all the rest of the stuff. What happens if somebody says, yo, I need this for a movie? You don't know how to do 5.1 surrounds. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to cut off a check because you don't know how to do that. What if somebody says, you know, I need this version or that version, whatever. Like, you need a specialist there and somebody that can take your art to the next level. It's easier for people to learn how to be an engineer, but you still need a professional. But I see it as like, you know, it's gonna be more collaboration. Now it doesn't cost me anything. Like if I got a real ill bass player that's in Texas, I don't gotta fly him in. You know what I'm saying? Me and him can look at each other on the screen and he can do whatever he gotta do. Because the whole thing that we miss now is the vibe or like being in the same room. I miss that part, right? Because it used to be like the artist, the engineer, the A&R, everybody, producer, everybody in the same room. Now it's like producer sitting in the room by himself, make the beat, send it to the artist do the record by themselves with no instruction and no nothing, send it back. And you need to be in the same room. And at least if you could just get a little, you know, camera, and everybody got cameras everywhere. So now we can collaborate online and makes the vibes back in the room a little bit.
Okay, now I think it's about that point where we can go to our audience for some questions. My man.
What's going on, fam? My name is Biz.
What up, fam? I'm trying to see you because the light is killing me.
No, you cool. Like,
nah, you good.
Engineers like yourself, and like Doro, and
I pattern myself after Doro. That's one of the people I pattern myself. Like,
okay.
Doro, I consider Doro the Jackie Robinson. I know that's not your question, but you brought his name up. Doro's like the Jackie Robinson of this. It was no young black dudes doing major sessions on a consistent basis until Doro came through.
Hello, excuse me, everyone in the back. Can you please keep it down a little bit? Thank you. There you go. You can ask your question.
My bad.
That needs to be done. But what I'm asking, like you, Maserati, I think his name Tango, like engineers like y'all, can you get into a position as to where you start getting published in all these records that you mix it? Then after a while, the artist himself got to admit, like, all right, if I'm using this bull and he making my drums knock like that, he should get a slice. You know what I'm saying?
It depends on who you are. Like, it took me, rock and roll engineers more get that than hip hop engineers.
Right.
But I've gotten it on some projects but of course it's me and Jay. So I'm personal with Jay. And Jay is like, yo, like, okay, I recognize the fact that how hard you work, so I was getting a certain, you know, points on certain albums the way a rock and roll engineer would. But there's plenty of albums that I haven't gotten points on.
Right.
You know, or
I'm sure in the beginning, like,
some younger cats, like now younger cats that come to me and they don't have a lot of money.
Right.
And I'll be like, it ain't about the money per se. Yeah, I gotta eat, I gotta feed my family, but we can make it more even. Just give me a point, you know, on your project. Like I just did the Rat King as a group, you know, out of New York City. Like I just like their music. They different than just the normal, like, yo, I'm turning up, you know. Yeah, so I got a point on their album. Not to put their business out there, but you know, like that's the normal thing. But you have to know everything's the music business. There are no rules.
That's true.
Everything is negotiation. So if you bring that up as too soon, the person might be like, you know, you have to know how to judge it.
The relationship, like, get it when you feel it. All right, but I read what you went on this.
Yeah, but it's not unheard of. People get it.
All right, yeah, I'm hollering you on this when you finish doing it.
Hi, Green Room.
What's up?
I'm Chandra.
It's nice to meet you. I feel like I've known you before.
I think I'm cheating because I've known him since he was 11 years old and crazy.
Maybe earlier than that.
Probably around 11, middle school.
Yeah.
But my question kind of loops back to that. Before the DJ and before the learning Pro Tools and all that, if somebody said, I want to make my kid into a young guru, tell them what you were good at as a kid that even set a foundation for you to know this, to learn the science that you have.
I was just into taking not engineering music, but just like my mom. I got one of the moms that's like, you know, super resourceful because she was a teacher. So I was in programs like FAME, which is Forum for the Advancement of Minorities and Engineering. But just my curiosity about how things work. Like, I'll take apart my friends' bikes, try to put them back together, take people's VCRs apart, put them back together. And then I was always reading. Like, I was never, you can ask any of my friends, and you probably, you know, I was never the dude that was like trying to hide that I was trying to be smart. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm on Market Street with a 40, but I got a book in my hand, and I'm probably arguing with like the Ansars or something, you know what I'm saying, all night. Like, that was my twist on Market Street, where everybody's out there, and I'm out there too, but I'm reading. You know, like, I was just a reader. I just read a bunch of stuff, and I had incredible parents. I had really, you know what I'm saying, really well put together parents that allowed me to do parties. Like, we was doing parties for my pops. Best friend ran Wilmington Park and Recreation. So back then they used to have the midnight basketball games and try to keep everybody off the street and keep us all in one place so they could watch us or whatever. I was doing parties back then, you know what I'm saying, coming in the house at like 2 o'clock when I was in 7th grade. And my dad would allow, you know what I'm saying, of course he knows where I'm at, but that's the type of things I was doing. I was just interested in how to put together systems and any type of system. Just how do things work? Like, how do you put this together? I was just trying to figure it out. And that was really my, you know what I'm saying, my whole thing. I just had a mind that was into how do systems work.
And I would underscore, the biggest thing I knew about you was that it was cool to be smart. The same with me.
Yeah.
We were street kids,
yeah,
but we were the smartest street kids.
Yeah, you
weren't afraid.
But see, I tell people this all the time too. Back then, it was a little different. Like, the scene, that's what scares me about today. Like, it's cool to be stupid, right? And the scene back then was like, even the hard dudes, like, you gotta remember, hip hop itself was in a state where we was like walking around wearing African medallions. Like, people wanted to know about their history. That was the feel, you know what I'm saying, of what was going on. So it was cool to be like, I know this and I know that and you don't know this and that was just our way of being. Like, being dumb was like, you know, like you're celebrating that you're stupid, that's crazy. You know what I mean? But and it's no balance. Like, you know, we wasn't angels, you know what I'm saying? We turned up, but the turn up was only for like 3-4 hours. Like, y'all act like y'all turn up just like that's it, like all day, like that's all my life is about, is turn up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They be like, turn down for what? Like, nigga, cause you got a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is the time to turn down. So that your turn up could be, you know what I mean, proper. Like, you celebrate, yeah, but it's about balance too. Like, we was just different that way.
Thank you very much. Chaplain Fontaine, nice to meet you. I got 2 quick questions. Can you stress the importance of having your business straight as an artist? Like, there's a lot of aspiring artists, engineers, videographers in this very room. Yeah. Is it stress the importance of putting your business out? Like, when you put a song out, copyright, sample, everything from A to Z.
Even before you even get to that point, when you formulating your thing, right? And this is, I'm glad you asked that question, because too many times we do what I call homeboy business. And some of it is because the way we was raised, and some of it is just out of sheer ignorance. Like, the way we was raised, we like, yo, if I get on, I'm supposed to put all my people on, which is a good thing. But put your man on as what? Like, what can he really do? What is he qualified to do? If your man is qualified to do the job, then give it to your man. You understand what I'm saying? Or, if your man's not really qualified to be your manager or whatever, get somebody that's professional and let your man learn from him. You understand what I'm saying? So, you could say I want to be a rapper and my homeboy that grew up with me is going to be my manager, but he don't know nobody in the music business. So you can take him on the road. He could be the dude that wakes you up every day and be the road manager, and then he's around the real manager. If he's smart and understanding business, he's going to learn from the real manager, then get to a level where he can then, you know, prosper. One of the greatest things that LeBron did was when he got on, he sent his 2 closest friends to school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go back to school. Because we about to do this thing and we about to disrupt the way that the NBA does it. We're not signing with these people, and I'm gonna have y'all in that position. But in order for me to put y'all in that position, I got to show them that y'all really know what y'all talking about. And you just need to brush up on everything because we doing it for real now. This is millions of dollars. He sent his homeboys to school. We don't do that with our music. Like, we just be like, he's my manager. He has no experience whatsoever.
Right. Nor
can he get you any type of like big deal. So I always tell people all the time, like, yes, put your people on, but go. That's like IBM going, I'm gonna only put on my cousins and my friends, and no, they go to MIT and they find the most intelligent person they can find in that specific field, and that's who they give a job to. That's how you're supposed to treat your career. Like, I want the best manager, I want the best lawyer, or not the family lawyer. You gotta get an entertainment lawyer, not the lawyer that did like your mom and dad's divorce. Like, that's something totally different, just because you know him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta know what you're doing.
Gotcha.
Then, when you as an independent, like, I tell, like, it's hard to explain this to people because people hear me say, yo, independent is the way to go, because I don't like record companies, right? This is well documented, right? I hate them and the way that they operate everything. But to be independent is to be free, and it's much harder to be free than it is to be a slave. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're a slave, somebody gives you your food, somebody gives you your clothing, they give you your housing, you're a slave, but all that's taken care of. So let's say you're on the plantation and then tomorrow you're free. Now you gotta go find land. You gotta know how to build a house. You gotta plant food. Then you gotta learn the science of planting food to be like, okay, I grew potatoes there this month, right? Now I gotta like not grow anything there to let the ground replenish and go over here and grow some cabbage and then come back next season and do it. You gotta learn, like, it's tough to be free. So independent is like, it's a lot of work. You don't realize how much work it is, and you try to write raps and produce and do all this other stuff. Like, you gotta go get people that's what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm gonna keep it extra, this is just me, in my opinion, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Most of the time, the illest, most organized people that's gonna have your thing is a female. I'm gonna tell you the real honest truth. Females are detail orientated. Like, you could leave here in an hour and ask every dude in here what the other dudes had on and don't nobody know unless it's like some specialty thing. You could ask a female what every other female in here had on. They'd be like, oh, she had on the thing with the thing and the thing with the boots and the zipper was going this way. She did like that. Look at it, 2 seconds. They detail like that. So then, like, that's who you need, you know what I'm saying, running your business. So it's just like who you want to put in there.
And thank you very much for that answer. Real quick, you cool with the guys that, you know, this is the era of blogs and rumors and TMZ, and we get this perception of people like Jay, like you rub elbows with this guy, you eat Chinese food with this guy, like
they normal people.
They regular people.
You take a shit just like you take a shit every day.
All right, how you gonna
yeah. That's the only way, you know what I'm saying? It's the only, but that's to show you, like, I say that to I know we need time, but that's what I say about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all those people. They were normal people that did extraordinary things. So if you think about Martin Luther King as some like, or Malcolm X or whatever twist, whatever side you fall on that, right? If you think about them as some like God-like person, then you don't think that you could do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? Which is sort of like why I like Malcolm's story, because it's like, I went through all the dirt, you know what I'm saying, and got to a certain point, but it's a normal, very normal individual, a normal man that did extraordinary things. So that means everybody can do extraordinary things if you put your mind to that. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta stop mystifying certain things. That's just the world we live in with the TMZs and all that. It's here, you know what I'm saying? Reality television is here, but you know, they normal people. It's about the people feed that. And they want that, so people give it to them. But the content will win in the long run. If you do the quick little gimmicky, whatever, you'll get a quick, and you better maximize your time while you're in it. You know what I'm saying? Because it is over. But you could be somebody that has a fan base and builds themselves, and you know, has a consistent, like, do you want to be a flash in the pan, or do you want to be like MF Doom? You know what I'm saying? Or do you want to be like Mos Def? Or do you want to be like, you know, you can pattern yourself after different people, but the longevity will keep you going.
I'd like to thank all those with the great questions. That was definitely great insight. I'd like to thank you, young guru, for sitting with us. We appreciate this. And of course, we definitely like to thank Heineken Green Room once again for creating this platform for us. Everybody, y'all make sure y'all enjoy clap it up for Heineken. Make sure y'all enjoy some Heinekens. And it's your boy E-Money with the great, legendary young guru.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Signing out. Hip-Hop since 1987. Thank you.
Hip-Hop since 1987.com.
Keep It Real Wednesdays was the day like any producer from anywhere, you could just walk in off the street and play beats. And JD sitting there, Beans sitting there, everybody. If you was whack, you didn't want to get laughed out the room. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen some of your like favorite producers cry. You know what I'm saying? And walk out the room.